Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to jump right into the core ideas from Jenny Lovelace's book on a concept that's fascinated millions, the law of attraction. So think of this as your personal user's guide to how it's all supposed to work.
The book kicks things off with a super direct question, and I'm going to ask it to you right now. Are you living life by default? Just kind of taking whatever life throws at you? And that right there is the default mindset. It's that whole idea that life is just, the luck of the draw, that you're stuck playing the hand you're dealt, whether it's good or bad. So, according to the book, this whole living by default thing is the real problem. It's this passive way of being where we think everything, our jobs, our relationships, our money, it's all just out of our hands. We get trapped in this cycle of just accepting whatever comes along. Okay, but this is where things get interesting. The book totally flips a common idea on its head. The argument isn't that we get happy because we get stuff. Nope. It's the other way around. Being happy is what actually brings those things into our lives. That's the huge mindset shift we're talking about here. All right, so if living by default is the problem, what's the fix? Well, the book presents it as this massive, almost secret universal law. And here it is, the main definition. The law of attraction, or LOA for short, is basically the idea that what's going on inside of us, our thoughts and our feelings, is what literally creates our reality on the outside. So in this view, we're not just along for the ride, we're actually the ones driving. And what's really wild is how the book frames this. It puts the law of attraction right up there with giants like the law of gravity and relativity, saying it's an unbreakable law of the universe. But here's the kicker. You can't just decide to float away, right? You can't ignore gravity. The author argues that the law of attraction is the one universal law we can actually learn to use and control. Okay. So if we can control it, how in the world does it actually work? I mean, how does a thought, something you can't even touch, turn into something real? Well, the book has an explanation for that. And the whole explanation starts with something I guarantee you've seen before. Yep, E equals MC squared. It's used here as the foundation, the bridge that connects energy to actual physical matter. So check out the logic the book lays out. It's a simple three-step process. First, your thoughts, their energy. Second, thanks to E equals MC squared, that energy can become mass. And third, what is mass? It's things, physical stuff. So that's the proposed pipeline from your brain into your reality. This next quote really hammers home just how fast this is supposed to happen. It's not something that, takes a while to get going. Nope. The idea here is that the creation process starts the exact second you have the thought. And the book goes even deeper. It talks about this universal field of energy, calling it the ether. So the idea is you have a thought, you shoot it out into this ether, and boom, it instantly becomes a tiny little particle. It's like the first microscopic building block of your desire, just waiting to grow. Okay, so that's the theory, the what. But what about the how? How do you actually do this stuff? Let's get practical. Let's talk about the actual manifestation toolkit the book gives you. So inside this toolkit, there are 4 main tools. You've got visualization, that's seeing what you want like it's already here. Then there's gratitude, being thankful for everything. The other 2 are letting go and detachment, which are all about not obsessing over the how and when. For now, let's really zoom in on those first 2. And this next quote, which you might have heard before, is the perfect intro to that first tool, visualization. The concept is pretty straightforward. If your mind can see it and really truly believe it, then it can happen. The book gives this awesome, super specific example to show you exactly how to visualize. So say you want to manifest a check. You don't just think, I want some money. No, you have to mentally live it. You imagine walking to your mailbox, you see your hands pulling out the mail, you feel the envelope, you open it and see your name and the exact amount of money you want. And here's the most important part. You have to feel that shock of excitement, that genuine joy, as if it's 100% real. All right, next tool, gratitude. And for this, the book uses this really powerful analogy called the pregnancy analogy. Think about it. When someone is pregnant, they don't wait for the baby to be born to be happy and grateful. They're grateful from the moment they know. The book says you gotta treat your desires the same way. Be thankful for them the second you think of them, and then just keep feeding them positive energy until they show up in your life. Okay, let's dig into what the author says is the single most important piece of this entire puzzle. It's all about the difference between believing and wishing. They sound similar, but they are worlds apart. So here's the breakdown. Believing is about knowing. It's a feeling of absolute certainty that it's going to happen. Wishing, that's just hoping. And if you're hoping, that means a part of you doubts it's possible. And the book argues that wishing actually pushes what you want away because you're basically broadcasting doubt out into the universe. And this Henry Ford quote just sums it all up perfectly. It's not about what you hope for, it's about what you believe deep down in your bones. That belief, whether it's I can or I can't, is what ends up creating your reality. And that leaves us with one last, pretty huge question to think about. What if all the stuff on the outside you're trying to change is really just a mirror of what's going on inside? What if the one thing, the only thing you actually need to change is your thoughts? Definitely something to chew on.